Hey everyone! This week we are taking time to reflect on the final week of Jesus' life, which we call the Passion Week. Now when you look at the Gospels, there's so much information during this last week that you can almost pinpoint each day the various things that Jesus said or what he experienced. And so we wanted to highlight a few of those moments as we get ready for Easter as a church. Now, yesterday was Palm Sunday. We talked about the anticipation and the expectation of people as Jesus was riding into Jerusalem. And on Monday morning, we find him headed back to Jerusalem when he decides to make a little object lesson for his disciples. In Mark chapter 11, verse 12, this is what it says. The next day, as they were leaving Bethany, Jesus was hungry. Seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing but leaves, because it was not the season for figs. Then he said to the tree, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again." And then when we skip down to verse 20, when they pass by this tree later on, we see that it's completely withered from its roots. Now, it wasn't uncommon for people back in that time to plant fig trees along travel routes for those weary travelers to maybe grab a snack for a little extra sustenance to help them make it to their destination. And this is what we see as Jesus is headed to Jerusalem, and he sees a tree in the distance that promises maybe some fruit, but upon closer inspection, there's none to be found. And here's the point. This tree promised something, but that promise led to disappointment. Now, sandwiched in the middle of this story is another account that has a similar theme. Jesus is headed to the temple in Jerusalem, a place that was meant to be a house of prayer to point those who were spiritually downtrodden to the Lord. But people had turned it into something different. They had turned it into a business and were profiting off of selling and buying sacrifices, and Jesus calls them on it. What's important for you and I to remember with these stories is that when we follow Jesus, our life ought to demonstrate the fruit of what that life looks like. There's nothing worse than someone who says and claims to be something, but upon closer inspection proves to be the opposite. People like that are confusing, they can cause frustration, and they don't help in showing the world a God who loves and who offers us salvation and deliverance. When you think about your life, and when people look at your life, do they see the fruit of what it looks like for someone to follow Jesus? As we prepare for Easter, may we be people who live out this call to follow God, and may our lives demonstrate the fruit of what that looks like, so that we can point this world to the one man that can truly save us. Thanks for joining us again today, and we will see you tomorrow.